From a haunted abandoned asylum to Sasquatch lurking in the dark woods and watching you, and all things unexplained, here are the stories from outside our realm. With your host, Bill Rigby.
Hello, everybody. I was just getting a phone call. Sorry, can't talk. Hey, it's a good night tonight. It really is. I'm very excited. You're going to see this woman in her natural habitat. And I'm excited to bring her in. I got to do it right now. She's in her natural habitat because this is what she does. Amie!
Bill
There
Rigby.
you are, camping again.
And I'm camping. It's wonderful.
Oh, man, I love it. And that's the thing. You know, you did a lot of that this year. You really did. And I got to admit, I was jealous because of the way I was laid up. I'm trying to bring up the Facebook group so I can see who's talking because I forgot to do it there. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Cindy. But the thing is, Amie, you are one of the nicest, honest people I do know and a group of friends I have.
Thank you, Bill.
But on top of that, you're a damn good researcher. And
okay, I don't know.
And I'm very happy to have you on my show to talk about your experiences.
Well, it's a pleasure, Bill, and I thank you. It's an honor. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
No, thank you, because you are the great one. No, I do mean, you know, we love you. You know, me and my wife both love you because you and Mark are so awesome. And I should have asked you a long time ago to get on. And you know,
I'm just happy to be here.
You're just happy in your happy place right now.
I am. You're right about that, Bill. I have you can't see anything behind me, I'm sure, but behind me is this lovely deep ravine. It's just beautiful, and so yeah. I'm happy to be here. Yes, even though it's I think 35 degrees out.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I'd love to be there with you, but you know me, the way
I do.
I've been this year.
You need to get better. Yes,
yeah, I'm working at it.
Prepare for spring and summer.
Oh, I am, and but let's get off of that subject. Let's get on the real subject, the pressing issues, your experiences.
Yeah.
I'll let you start with wherever you want to start on.
You'll let me start. Well, I can tell you that I've been interested in Sasquatch for most of my life, I would say. And I don't talk about this very often, but I was interested in Sasquatch. Didn't even know really what I was interested in. When I was young, I was visiting an aunt and uncle that lived here in Southeast Ohio, and stayed with them a lot. And so they lived in a rural place, and behind their house was a hill and a grove of pine trees. And I don't remember whether it was like a nursery or what, but there were just a lot of pine trees up there, and they were about the same size. And so I was told not to go up there. So, well, you tell a kid not to do something, and what do?
Exactly.
So I remember walking out. I don't remember exactly the season, but I think it was spring. It was raining just slightly. And I went up to that grove of pine trees, and I was just standing there. I hadn't been there very long, and I heard somebody coming from the other way. And I thought immediately it was going to be an adult and I was going to be in trouble. But what it was something I don't know what it was. I didn't know for a long time. Uh, it was a female, I'm assuming it was a female. And she she saw me and she stopped in mid stride. She had a hold of a branch in her hand, and through the years, I've kind of like made up my own story about what was going through her mind or whatever. And I think
Right.
that she may have been thinking, do I turn around and go back or do I keep going? So beyond this hill, there was some real tall grass and then a very large creek that ran through the area. And so she proceeded to walk past me. And she was probably only like, I'm only guessing, but I'm thinking maybe 5 foot, maybe, because she wasn't, she was about the height of the pine trees. The pine trees were not very tall. And she looked like what a young lady, a young girl would look like in adolescence. And I think that's what really blew me away the most. Her face was very kind of chimp-like, only it wasn't, it was flat, but
Right.
it was more chimp-like. And so she only walked maybe 3 or 4 steps, and she looked over, but at me, but not at me, but at my feet. And again, through the years, I've thought, what was she thinking? And in my mind, I gather that maybe she was thinking, you stay right there. Don't you move. And she got to that high grass and she just dove in like somebody would dive into a swimming pool.
Ah.
And that was it. She was gone. And there was no fear until she was gone. And then fear, struck me. And I ran back down to the house and told my aunt, I remember she was washing dishes. And I said, I just saw a monkey girl. And she's like, what? And she just, blew it off because I was just a little kid and
Yeah.
she had a house to run and in their mind, it was just my imagination. So
Well,
that's how I
yeah,
got started.
that's interesting. So it basically was a juvenile female
Yes.
Sasquatch.
Yes. That's for years. I didn't know what it was. I
Right.
never put that together, until the internet came out. And I realized that there was Sasquatch in Ohio. And I I don't know what else it could have been.
Totally blew your mind when that happened, huh?
It totally blew my mind. I always say I about fell off my chair the moment I realized there was Sasquatch in Ohio.
And for the people that don't know Amie, she started a group called the Monroe County Bigfoot Enthusiasts from Monroe County, Ohio.
Correct.
And she don't call it the researchers or anything like that. They're the enthusiasts. Because she is very enthusiastic about it.
Yeah. You could say that.
Yeah. And she takes reports. She shares some of the information like a good researcher, investigator does. They don't give out the whole 9 yards because a lot of people don't want that out there.
Correct.
But the thing is, Mark has this piece of property, and I've seen pictures on top of pictures, which I need to get out there with you one day. You've been finding different things there that's been happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of it is like tree structures. or
Right.
if what we call structures. Just odd the way these limbs and stuff. I think people are familiar with, the asterisks that are made. Some
Yeah.
or we find we don't know who or what is making them. I think most uh, people that have been doing this for a long time. There are some people that really they don't think that they do that. That's not part of the Sasquatch behavior.
And that's the
Uh,
thing. That's the thing right there. They can't say that because they
yeah,
don't know.
you can't say that it is, and you can't say that it isn't.
Right.
My argument with that is always, every living thing manipulates its surroundings somehow, some way. Um, we're manipulating our
Yep.
surroundings. So why would they be any different? We may not understand what it means, but I think that they do manipulate their surroundings.
I Every living thing does, but you know, you heard me say this. I don't put a lot of stock in structures, but I do study them,
Right,
and I try to debunk them as the best I can. And the the ones I really can't debunk, let's go with X's. Most of them are natural
right,
tree falls or tree branches coming down, whatever.
right.
But when you find a, a 20-foot tree with the root ball in the air and no place where it came up out of the ground at, doing an X in a tree, I don't know what to say.
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
know what to say. I can't say that's natural. I can't say an animal did it because I don't know if any animal's going to carry a tree and then flip it up over like that. I don't. A storm didn't just carry one tree and do that. So, and that's when I say that's a possibility.
Right.
Um, but for the ones that try to debunk it and say they don't do that, don't prove that they don't.
Yeah, we do. We simply don't know.
Yep.
For sure. And that's pretty much, I think, uh, all of the what we think we know, basically comes from reports, uh, uh, reading, from, what they call the horsemen, John
Right.
Green and Renee DeHinden and,
Mm.
all those great guys that came before us.
Yes.
That's the only way we know, because I do believe, and I may ruffle some feathers here, but myself, I believe that the government is not only knows about the Sasquatch, that they probably have their bodies. Um, and I think that the powers that be just aren't there for whatever reason. They're not giving that information up.
I call it the spotted owl effect. You know what
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
mean by that, don't you?
Yes.
When
Yes.
they shut down all the logging and the drilling and all that because of the spotted owl, the endangered species, they shut everything down. Billions of dollars got stopped.
Right.
Followed the dollars.
Yeah.
Oh, rub it in, Randy. Randy Heath. Randy and Mary's down in Florida, and they're rubbing it into us.
Oh.
And
Oh. Yeah. Send some of that warmth up here, would you?
Amie needs it more than I do.
Just about right now would be good, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And Tim Gayhart says he agrees with you uh, uh, about the government and that, and so do I. And I heard different stories about them coming in, like Mount St. Helen when it erupted, carrying out huge things under a tarp out.
Right.
Look like a body. So yeah, I do believe they do, and I do believe they know about them, but it's followed the money trail.
Well, they're certainly not giving up any information about them. So we have to just gather our own information as best we can, and that's when, you know, I always say all we have are our theories, really,
Yes.
and what we take from reports from people.
And I'm very fortunate. I've been getting a lot more reports. Um, People messaging me and that. Not a full report, but parts. I got to go on an investigation, hopefully this weekend, um, of a report we just got that happened about 2 months ago in Mercer County.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm pumped about that one. But the thing is, with these reports, we just got to keep putting the information together and then share it with other researchers and investigators so we can have collaboration on what they're doing, how they're doing.
Right, right. I think that's really the only way. And I realize that some people are out there a lot more often than others, and that they're collecting more data than others, collecting more evidence than others. But the truth is, I think that it's going to take all of us working together
Yes.
to
Yeah.
solve this puzzle, if it's even solvable. I don't know, but
Well, here's the
I don't
thing.
understand hiding
Here's
your
the thing.
what you know.
The thing is, if we don't share the information with each other, we're not going to figure this puzzle out.
Right,
And we're
right,
just going to stay in this rabbit hole forever.
right. Yeah,
And you saying there's other ones that are out there more. Amie, you're out there so much. It's pathetic. Come on. The, Another one, Jamie and Jenny King's out there all the time.
right,
You know,
right.
you two are the prime examples right there, being out there. And that's, I could not get out as much as I wanted this year. And that's still kicking me in the rear.
Yeah,
But
I've been there when I couldn't get out and couldn't camp, couldn't, and it's hard. It's
yes,
makes me sad when I can't get out.
it
You
does. It
know,
does.
yeah.
And,
The
but,
woods. I mean, regardless, it's easy to get frustrated with this whole Sasquatch thing because, let's face it, evidence is rare, and sightings are even more rare. But it if you can just take the woods for what they are and enjoy them,
yes,
and the beautiful things that you'll find in the woods, and the things that I've learned about wildlife and about the forest since probably since 2013 maybe has been fantastic. I mean, it's been such a help. Um,
yeah,
like I said, it's easy to get frustrated because we're impatient. We want proof.
very.
But
Yeah,
as Amy Boo taught me, just enjoy the forest for what it is. You know,
exactly.
and that really helped me. I think that's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received in this, because I've learned to uh, fall back in love, if you will,
Yeah.
with the forest.
Mike Hartman. I'm going to have to tell you to quit picking on Tara, but I'm going to put this up.
Mike Hartman.
He goes, I agree the government does have knowledge. Question is, do they use it? Yeah, to their advantage. Um, I will say that.
Yeah,
Um, but, and like you said, enjoying the woods. That's my solace right there.
right.
That's why I put a big smile on my face. And I couldn't get there as much this year. Yesterday was my 12-year-old grandson that lives with us birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
And he was all excited. He got these cards with about $40 worth of credit on it for his games.
Oh,
Thing. So this
can't
morning,
ask for anything more than that.
yeah, but that's just a little bit of his gifts. But we talked this morning, and I says, your game's great. You know, I'm glad you enjoy it. But come spring and summer, you're going to the woods with me. And he goes, really? I'm like, yeah. I said, it's not just looking for Bigfoot. We're going to enjoy nature, enjoy the wildlife that's out there. And he goes, like what? Rabbits and deers? I says, yeah, maybe foxes. He says, we're going fishing too. Yes.
Good for him.
Yes.
That's included. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Good for
yes.
him. Get him out there, Bill.
And he's going out with me. But, he's not so much into Bigfoot. He's in the Mothman.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Has he been to a Mothman festival yet?
Next year, I'm taking him.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Mothman, of all things. He hears me talk about Bigfoot all the time, but no, it's Mothman.
Very cool. Good for him.
Those kids are. There's times I just wish they'd be somewhere else, but I'm glad they're here with us. I am. I love
Way to be honest, Bill. That's right. I could understand that, definitely.
But the thing is, you're right. We got to get out there and start enjoying the nature. So you don't find nothing related to Bigfoot. Look what else you're finding out.
Right.
There's so much in the woods to see.
Yeah, I mean, just the trees alone. I mean, the number of the species of trees is just, I don't know, thousands. I don't know.
Yep.
And I know so very little about them, but it's something I would like to learn. And I do feel that, like, for instance, I'll use example, your good buddy Mike Hartman.
He's not my good buddy.
Several others. The people that have hunting skills and they've been out hunting, and they have an edge on us because they know more about the outdoors than what we do. And
I give Mike a lot of credit on that. I've been a hunter all my life. But he knows so much more.
Yes, I've never hunted.
And I know how to track an animal. I can usually tell what the prints are. I know how to study the terrain. I know, just from being a hunter, you learn how to use the terrain to your advantage.
Right.
And that's something I adapted to my Bigfoot research.
Oh, definitely. Sure you would.
I adapted my military skills to that too.
Right.
And so, so that helped with the advantage point.
Definitely.
Our research.
Yeah.
But nothing beats boots on the ground trying to figure it out either.
Right.
I don't care how much extra training I had at hunting or whatever. If I'm not getting out there, I'm not learning. But I'm not taking anything away from I call my armchair quarterback.
Oh, definitely.
She can't get out. But she can do the research on the computer.
Exactly.
And help.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. I mean,
yes.
There's definitely we need that. You know, people that have gone back and researched in history and you know, reading books and
Yeah.
articles and reports and yeah, that's important. We need that.
Yeah.
And it's very
And
hard to do both.
Mike Hartman, here, I'm going to put it up so other people can read it. But Mike Hartman goes, I'll give you that, Amie, but even good hunters miss great opportunities. If the best hunter on the planet never goes outdoors but 1 week a month, my money's on the city people who go hiking every single weekend. And he's right.
I agree with that.
Uh,
Yeah.
I used to go out every day, even just for an hour, go out every day into the woods. And you know, now let's fall back on the tree structures. That's what got me into looking for Bigfoot. Because I got on the computer and found out, hey, that's kind of related to Bigfoot from what these people are saying.
Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, Cindy Mitch puts up, my personal opinion is that everyone should know how to survive in the woods. All of her children were taught. They grew up camping, she put
Wow.
earlier. Yeah,
Wow.
you know what? She's about right. Who knows what this country's coming to? You
Yeah.
know, because we don't know. I'm not getting political, but we don't know. And
No,
it,
nobody knows the future. So
no, so
that's for sure. Yeah. My kids and I camped a lot because that's what we could afford to do. But I don't know how many skills that we really learned. But we had, you know, I think they liked it. You know, I think they enjoyed it. Recently this past summer, I was able to camp with my younger daughter and her little boy, and
yeah,
I was really surprised. He loved it. He absolutely loved it, and I think it it brought that back out in her too. I think she enjoyed it. You know.
that's great because we need we need that family time, but doing it outdoors puts it up to this level,
Oh,
way up
definitely.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know that is better than anyone as much as you spend out there.
It really is.
And
It's I don't know what it is about being in the outdoors, but it's definitely a calming effect. You know, it's not that it's going to take away your troubles, but it's just very peaceful
yes,
for
I
me.
agree.
Unless
Gary,
you run into a Sasquatch or it's in that, and then you might be a little stressed out. But then
just just
just a tad,
no,
right?
especially the one I saw at that distance, as you know.
Right.
um, but and Gary Overfield just wrote, absolutely, the more time you spend in the woods, the more opportunity you have to learn.
Oh, sure,
And,
definitely.
and I believe when you're spending that time in the woods, uh, you're relaxing your brain to absorb more.
Hmm. Yeah,
I don't know if that's the right words to use, but that's the way I feel
it
about
sounds right to me.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. My brain can always use being a little more relaxed,
Yeah.
less stressed out, definitely.
And you had some stressors in the past year too. So, and
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's been a
it,
rough year for a lot of people, so
yes.
getting out here helps. But
Yeah.
um,
But other than that,
spend a lot of time in group camp. Spend a lot of time. I don't know if probably your listeners know about Salt Forks Group Camp. Probably since you camp there.
yeah, a lot of our listeners do know about it. Um, some of them don't, but uh, that is a special place to me
Yes. Yeah.
because of my sighting right down Buckeye Trail
Exactly.
there. That
Or
is a special place, and and it's really special. My first camp out, and planning it and planning it and planning it. And I asked you, I said, would you mind taking the money from the campers for me? And you, if you really want me to, and I went, yes, please. And you took down every damn name, marked down every damn dollar. And I said, you don't have to pay for doing this. I got you covered. And you still paid your own damn way.
Well, yeah.
I'm so mad about that.
Yeah, well,
but no,
that's okay.
that's the way you are. That's the way you are.
You'll get
and,
over it.
But what got me, it rained Thursday morning, the day of the camp. I was there Tuesday morning up in the Payside with Bob Walls because he came Monday. I ended up talked to my wife. She says, go be with him. He's there by himself. And it was snowing. It was cold.
Yep.
But me and him camped for 2 days in the Payside, then went over to Saltport. Mike showed up with some stuff. And turn around. I can't remember. Mike brought something in the ice cream truck because he's delivering ice cream. I hear this big truck backing in. It was him. And pretty soon, here you came. But Jack Warren was already there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Jack's usually, first one there.
Yeah, but me and Bob beat him because me and Bob was already camping at Saltport. But, yeah. It was raining. It was getting muddy. People were getting stuck. I'm pushing vehicles in the parking areas and that. And then it got warm. And then we had a group area that we were planning on being at, but it seemed like everyone came down to your camp. Remember
Really?
that? Yeah.
No, I don't remember. No. Well, yeah, I guess I kind of do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I kind of remember that.
Yeah. Because me and Mike was down near Jack. You were going up the side there toward the Buckeye Trail.
Yes.
And
I
everyone kept coming down to be by Amie. And I put up, well, I had the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project's Mercer County chapter.
Right.
So people leave you alone. Hell no, they left me alone and went to you. I told you he was better looking than me.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that. Maybe I was serving some food or something. I can't, coffee. I was probably serving coffee.
But, I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but I know it was around $600.
Yeah, you took in a lot of money that weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, and you handed it over to me.
Park was probably very happy.
They were. The ladies in the office said they're going shopping.
Yeah, no doubt. It was like all cash. So yeah, that was a big camp out.
Oh, and a great group of people.
Yes.
And we had experienced researchers. We had new people there that never researched.
Right.
And remember that one young man that found the handprint?
It was his first time there. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Mark remembers them.
I do.
Yeah, Mark says he does remember him.
Knuckle prints.
It was a knuckle print, he said.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was not a believer till then.
Huh. Very interesting.
They just came with his in-laws.
Yeah.
To go camping.
For those of your listeners that aren't familiar with Pennsylvania, I would love to delve more into camping in the Alleghenies, and because I have no doubt that they're there. Salt Fork, that group camp, even the naturalists will tell you there's something about that group camp it's special. There's I've said before that if you want an experience and to be able to feel safe, that's a great place to do it.
Yes.
Because I think that the Sasquatch in this area
Mellow.
are 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 uh I think they're used to seeing people. They know when we come, they know when we go. They're curious. They want to.
Yeah.
As
We're
Mark
their
said, they're
entertainment.
curious.
And by the way, Pete, when I said Mark, that's Mark Buris, a really good friend. And
Yeah.
he's camping this weekend there.
Yes.
Um, and Jack Warren says, hi, Mark. And Tara says she'll take you camping in the Alleghenies, but July 11th through the 14th, Amy.
Okay.
That I'm having me and
A
Gwen
camp out
Purcell's
then.
doing the camp out there.
Yeah, I've camped in the Alleghenies before, and it was intense. It was a great camp out. It was fantastic. I loved it.
Yes.
Beautiful place.
When Gwen and I was up there in September, it was very, very interesting. The
Huh.
first night, and that we had activity in that, but some strange things did not happen. We had a bucket of apples out in the middle of the roadway, left them up, and they weren't touched by anything,
Yeah.
not even deer.
Yeah.
But they weren't right near our tent. They were up on the roadway up there,
Yeah.
the driveway coming into the camp area.
Yeah. I've seen that
Yeah,
in the group camp. People food all over, nothing touches it.
yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, it is.
And
Yeah, I've actually had conversations with the park rangers and the naturalists, asking them why is it that we can leave our food out here in group camp in the middle of the summer and no raccoons, nothing. And they just kind of shrug their shoulders and say, well, we don't know.
I was down at Thomason Run down there in West Virginia when
Oh yeah, beautiful place.
Brian Seach had the Bigfoot days down there, and we camped out. Well, I left my cooler out. My cooler got raided. There was a couple sheriffs having that breakfast up there at the camp thing because they were serving breakfast there out of the big food truck. And I went up. I says, guys, I got to report a robbery. They went, really? I went, yeah. Which one of you guys I talked to? And he says, he's senior officer. I says, well, a couple masked bandits broke into my cooler. He started laughing. He says, good luck with that one. But
yeah, they'll get you in the campgrounds.
Yes.
I've had them get our stuff here, and the Salt Fork campgrounds. They will definitely, they'll get some right up.
Oh yeah, they don't
no
care.
problem. They're not shy.
Nope. Talking food, they're there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, but the thing, like at the group camp area, like we were saying, we are the entertainment.
Right. Right. The group camp has actually been dubbed the bleachers.
Yes.
Because you're just kind of sitting in a bowl, and feeling that, there's a lot of people who will say they feel like they're being watched. And so you probably are being watched.
Well, that first year there, when I had my sighting, when I first met Miss Elizabeth and heard something in the woods, she ain't afraid of nothing.
Right.
She stepped inside the woods and went, hello. Hello.
That's her call. Yes. That's her Sasquatch call.
I'm like, oh my God, she's going to trip and fall over or something. And I'm right behind her, man. I'm going to catch her. Anything happens, I'm catching her. It's like, oh. But, of course, we didn't see anything. Well, the next day, I stepped inside the wood line. You can see a trail walking around inside the wood line around the camp.
Yeah.
A beaten trail.
Yep.
Circling the camp. Makes you
Yeah.
wonder.
A lot of experiences have come out of that group camp.
Yes. The thing is that's a really great price to get some sort of experience, even if it's just a how.
Right. Well,
Or
I would love to hear a how. I've never, as of yet, heard a how here in Salt Fork, but that doesn't, there's been so many things. I mean, yeah. Yeah, right, right. So, I mean, there have been hows that have been heard. I
right.
just haven't got to hear them. But tree knocks, trees being pushed over, or whistles. Uh, some have even claimed that they've heard like chatter,
Yes.
and not from raccoons either. This is guttural chatter.
And
Um, so there's all kinds of things that go on out there that it's just exciting, and it's kind of almost like you feel like you're making a connection. Though I
yeah,
know you're not. You just feel
but
like,
you are.
you
But you
know,
are. The thing is, for some of the ones that don't know my story, and Amy knows it, Mike knows it, Mary and Randy knows it, Tater's watching, he knows it. We just went down Buckeye Trail, Mike Bennett, Debbie Pregan, and I, and we it was 15 feet away from me when I saw it.
that's pretty close. Yeah.
And I'm just thankful I'm still here because it wasn't aggressive. It still bothers me at times, but
Oh, I'm sure it does. Yeah.
the thing is, now I'm looking into the spiritual connection of it.
Okay.
And there is a spiritual connection to that. And I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, it's just like all the rest of it. It's
yeah.
difficult, but
Yep.
I understand where you're coming from.
And that's the thing. We have seen different reports of how aggressive they get. Joe Kesky and his story.
Right.
Now that scares me.
Well, yeah, and I mean, not that it's my theory, but I just feel that they're 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 smarter than just to lash out. I think that when they do something like that, they know that there's going to be consequences. They know that if somebody comes up missing or dead or injured, that there's going to be more people in that area. More people, dogs, helicopters, whatever, and they'll lose that territory. And I think that they realize that. And I think that's
what I
one
don't
of the
understand.
reasons. It's just a theory.
I can understand if someone's coming up close to where a juvenile's at or interrupted a hunt, but this thing was across the pond and come bluff charging through the pond at them. So it scares me.
Oh, definitely. I
Think
understand.
about that. And when Joe was giving, and he went in deep details of how it affected him and everything. And it's right after my sighting that I was in with a group of everybody, other researchers. I'm going Creekfoot. I was at Creekfoot, and we're not there researching. We're just there socializing, talking about stuff.
Right.
And that. And I was asked to share my story if I felt up to it. Well, I gave a sort of a condensed version of it. And then Joe got up and told his. I put my head down like this, Amy. and I'm listening to it, I actually start crying, thinking, what could have happened to me if mine wanted to charge me like
Right.
that?
Right.
It was rolling down my eyes. I was so worked up over it.
Right.
I don't cry. I don't get scared. That thing scared me, and then thinking about it made me cry. So that says something. And
I think that's something it's hard for people who haven't been in that position to understand.
right,
The
right,
just the fear that goes, it's paralyzing. And you've heard over and over again, why didn't you draw your gun? Why didn't you shoot it? Why didn't you take a picture? Why didn't you talk to it? Why didn't you? Well, because it's just completely paralyzing fear.
excuse me. Yeah, and that's the
Bless
thing.
you.
Thank you. That's the thing. Now, Mary Pavey asked me if I fell up to post it on the Bigfoot Project page of my sighting, and I did. Some young punk right away. Thank you, Tara. Says, "Did you get a picture?"
Right.
I sure in hell wasn't thinking about taking a picture.
Right.
I would have taken a picture. At 15 feet away, you don't tell it to hold still. Let me get my phone out, turn my phone on, go to the camera setting, and then try to tell it to say cheese and smile so
Right.
you can focus. I
Right.
don't think so. Oh,
Right.
yeah, well, be all prepared. Shut up.
Yeah, you just have to let that go because they don't understand.
Yeah. And that upset me because that wasn't that far along after my sighting.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you're so brave. I'm a badass. I'm not afraid of nothing. I'm superhuman. I got scared. I'm not a badass no more. So don't
Yeah,
tell me that stuff, kid.
I get it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark Burris is saying, well, it was close enough. It could have definitely killed you if it wanted to.
Yeah. Exactly. And I had a hard time dealing with even who put that. Someone just put it. Oh, Shane says even 100 yards, you're so overwhelmed about what you're seeing that the camera's the last thing you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike, we are investing in body cams. We're definitely doing that. Front and back. No, I'm being serious. I'm investing in that. And Mike's right, because at least you might get a picture of it. It's scaring the shit out of you. But, but realizing that I'm just human and not superhuman, and it's crazy because
Yeah.
I was 62 years old before I got scared like that.
Yeah.
I might have got startled, but I
Yeah.
never got scared. So the effects of that.
Right. And I'm sure you're thankful. I know I am thankful that, you didn't have a heart attack. You didn't,
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's happened to people, that have heart failure, from just plainly being scared to death,
Yeah. And thank God I got good heart. Bad nerves now, but good heart. But and that leads me to something else I gotta say. You and me travel in a certain little circle of people we can trust and do stuff with. And I want to get on the integrity part of this because this is eating at me, and it's been eating at me. When a person goes out as a group and they find the cast or prints. All right, you and me went out. Well, wait a minute. I'll change that. When Debbie Prager and I went out to the farm, we found these prints.
Mhm.
She's the first one that found them. But what she said was, Bill and I found these prints. Because she saw it first. She called me over. I looked, oh, yeah. And we measured and all that.
Hey.
But that's how.
You hear? Oh, sorry, Bill.
What you hearing?
I'm hearing movement to our right. Oh, yeah, to my right. I'm sorry.
No. Tell me to
I'm
shut up
listening.
so you can hear it. I'm serious.
They
You
want to hear the story, Bill. Come on.
see some glowing lines behind me. I'll stop you. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
But that's a courtesy thing, too.
Right. Right. Well, integrity is definitely, I mean, it's important just in life in general.
Right.
You know, and it is in this field. I mean, you gotta, you should mind your P's and Q's. You should give credit where credit is due, and we've been through this, and you just and then you just have to let it go. You learn and you let it go. In my opinion,
Now, here's the thing, and Shane Spencer said this: team/group effort. There's no me and we.
Right.
And
Right.
He's right. He's 100% right. Brenda Sproul and I went researching together one day. Went up and along the wood line and up in. Didn't really see anything. Saw a few things, possible structures, maybe, very unsure. Come back out, I said, walk along the water line. Found a trackway. I went for over 100 yards. You see,
Wow.
out of the woods, went up along the beach, and then hooked back and back up
Wow.
over there. Now, I'm 170 pounds, and I sunk down maybe that deep.
Right.
These prints was that deep.
Yeah.
14 inches, 6 3/4 inches wide, about a 60-inch spread as it's walking.
Wow. Okay.
Brenda and I found it. Not just me, not just her. It was
Right.
Brenda and me. And that's how we say it. We each made a casting. I screwed mine up, it broke. She got hers because we waited till the very next day, 24 hours later, to go get it. My problem was I took the casting and I waited an hour and a half, 2 hours, figured, it's set up. Not thinking, we're still close to the water. That ground's still pretty wet. So I messed it up.
That's how we learn, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how I've broken casts. I mean, it happens, and you just hope you do better the next time.
Exactly. I'm just all excited. I got it. And I should have waited. I should have calmed my nerves down, but I was pumped.
It's exciting.
Before my sighting.
It's very exciting.
Yes. But she got hers. We went the next day and got it out. She turned it over. A nice big stone in the middle of it. Came out with it, unfortunately. But it was us as a team that found the trackway. It wasn't me. It wasn't her. When you got to call someone over to say, hey, come take a look at this, because they're sitting down playing on the phone or something, that's that person's. No one else's. And that's my total belief in that. Yes.
I hear you, Bill.
But you can still say we were together.
Right. Absolutely.
That's the integrity part.
Right. Yeah.
Don't take the whole damn credit when you didn't do it.
When we found the, don't know what they were for sure, but when we found prints this summer, there was, I want to say there was 5 or 6, 7 of us. I don't know how many was there. And it was a group effort, you know, it was a complete group effort. And everybody got to do their own. I think it's good when somebody would, you know, they cast their own and they dig their own up. Because that way, if a problem comes along, you know, then it's not something I did wrong. You know, it's, you know, if mine breaks, then it's on me. But yeah, I mean, like we said in the very beginning, it's going to take a group effort with this, and all the fussing and the fighting and is a diversion.
Yes.
And yeah, you know, we got to try to get over that. And, you know,
you're right. You're
stay on track.
Right. And that's why I'm keeping my team small, as I'll call it my team, but it's not a team. It's a group thing. Oh, you do, huh?
I do.
But which is almost an hour, so you're good.
I'm like, oh my goodness. Somebody text him and tell him.
So.
And being out in the cold doesn't help, Bill. I'm just telling you. And at my age, it's just getting a little harder there, Bill. A little more difficult.
So, with that being said, I'm sorry, Amie.
I love you, Bill.
We love you too. Oh man, you just blew me out of the water. And so all I'm going to say is, you're welcome at everything we do.
Thank you, Bill.
Because you do have the integrity.
And it was an honor to be here and a pleasure to be on your show. Finally. Thank you.
Finally.
Thank you.
And we will have you back. Hopefully in the warmer weather. So you don't have to go pee real quick.
Hey, this is perfect. Mark's got the fire all stoked up and it's all good.
That's great.
Yep.
And thank you, Amie.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
And we will talk soon.
Okay. It sounds good.
All right. Bye, all.
Good night, everybody. Squatch on.
This has been an Agents of the Unexplained original podcast. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe and view on YouTube. And please visit our store link in the bio. Thank you for listening. And remember that paranormal